Oh, I like that. I like that poster.
Panther Nation, it's the C3 Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com.
I had fun, man. Just out, the guys joking. We working at the same time. Putting the work in as a team. Like I said, I'm just glad to be with the guys.
My favorite night of the week.
We're going to go out there, and we're playing to win. We're not out here just to show up. We're out here to win.
I don't want guys that want to win. Because really, who doesn't? Nobody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. I want players that hate to lose.
Well, this embodies everything that we are as a team, as an organization. Our motto is keep pounding. And that's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn, and this is the C3 Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinion from the fan perspective. I do it each and every week with my homeboys. Joe Riolano is out today with a sore mouth. He was knocking Detroit Lion fans around so much it hurt his own chatterbox. So he had to go. So he's out on medical recovery leave. So we brought in, man, our oldest friend, Willie, Panther Nasty. What's up, man? Glad to have you back on the C3 Podcast, man.
What's up, man? I'm glad to be back. You already know.
Fantastic, man. It's good to have you, man. Willie and I go back. Willie's, man, my oldest friend on Twitter. And you can't get a better Panther fan than him. And, there's this all right guy that lives in Charlotte. He's all right. His name's Mel Mayock. I'm glad to be hanging out with him. Could be hanging out with him on Thursday, but what's up.
A little bit of salt there, Tony. Yeah, there's a little bit of jealousy. I'm gonna be at the big house on Thursday night. I can't wait to be there, man. I'm gonna have to save up my voice, so you're gonna have to pardon me. I'm saving my voice for Thursday night.
Fantastic.
Be loud,
all right,
man. Be loud,
sir.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to be loud, bro. What I need is this. Hopefully everybody is doing well. There's a lot of people in the C3 in the chat room. Hopefully it just popped up on y'all's screen. But one of the cool things about the new features, I got my computer back. I'm super excited about that. You guys should be able to, now we're trying to feature more and more fan conversation as we go. So now we're going to be blasting out. Well, now that you can see the YouTube chat on the screen, it's a fantastic conversation that goes on each and every week. And so I'm excited about doing that. Guys, this is episode 17.36. We've been rocking and rolling for a while now, all season long. And, guys, we're coming. Tonight's episode is Lion Tamers and Eagle Handlers. We're going to be breaking down the Panthers' win over the Detroit Lions. It was a great matchup. 2-3 teams go in. 4-1 team, the Carolina Panthers, comes out. And now we got to go on a short week. We got to host the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll be getting into all of that latest news tonight. We encourage everybody to, if you're watching on YouTube, to go ahead and smash that thumbs up right there. Hit the subscribe button. And when you subscribe, go ahead and click on that little bell so you get a notification that we're on and you never miss any of the best content when it comes to the Carolina Panthers from the fan perspective. If you're listening on Periscope, Facebook Live, do the same. Hopefully all the tech is working out. We work out the bugs. You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, and we'll keep doing that. And we appreciate everybody for doing this. So let's jump in, guys. The Panthers, they go on the road for the second time in, I guess it would be second time in 2 weeks. You beat New England in a tough environment. Then you got to go into Detroit, a team that is playing. Really, there's not many teams that were playing better than them in the league. The defense had 11 turnovers going into that game. And the Panthers come out. And really, if you take away, we can't say that. We dominated 3/4 of that game.
Well, I tell you what, after such an incredible sloppy start, I've never seen that many penalties to start a game. But, for some reason, I felt like, hey, this was going to get cleaned up. And we were right in it after having so many penalties to start with. When, it's kind of like when you have a terrible half of football and you're only down by 3, you feel pretty good about it. that's kind of the way that game turned out for us.
Yeah, definitely.
You're right, man. We absolutely. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Will.
No, you jump in, P Nasty.
We absolutely dominated that game. I'm kind of a little disappointed. I mean, I'm happy we got the win. Don't get me wrong, but man, it would have really went well if we just finished strong. But we dominated that game, which was kind of surprising because Detroit was playing really good football.
You know, they come out and smack us right off the bat with a 16-yard gashing run. Again, the Panthers' run defense has not been as good as the stat line has indicated. While we have held.
Did you notice that Amir Abdullah had 16 yards on that first run, and I think he ended up with a total of 18 yards?
Yeah, I know. We stopped them, but look, we did. We totally stopped it. But on that first run, you're going, oh, Lord. They're about to do something. The Detroit Lions can't run on anybody, right? And they gash a 16-yard run. They march down the field on us. And then the Panthers start to tighten up. They hold them to a field goal. And then we kind of get off to what I would say a little slow start, but we're able to come out of it. And they get up 10-3. We tie the game. And I believe that first touchdown, was that the Devin Funchess touchdown?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Devin Funchess scores his second touchdown, his third in 2 weeks. It's kind of like his homecoming game, and then the Panthers tie it up. And once they tied it up, dude, they go on this tear. They score, I think it was 17 more unanswered points. And you know, you go up 27-10, and these guys, they couldn't even get a first down in that game. So we came out of it. But guys, what the heck was up with that first 16 minutes of that game where we got 8 penalties?
I don't know what happened, because before that game we was kind of good discipline. We was playing good disciplined football. Yeah. We was number 1 in least penalized team, but I think the refs played a big part in it. They ref really bad that game to me.
Yeah, you know, it's the Tom Brady theory to me. Tom Brady complained the week before that we got all the calls and we were the reason that the sun didn't rise in Boston that day and all of that kind of stuff. So I think all those officials are in love with Tom Brady and said, yeah, we'll get him back for you. So, a little bit of reverse juju.
Yeah, I mean, we go into that quarter, guy. We go into that game where the least penalized team, I think, in the entire NFL, and I think by the end of that first quarter, we're ranked for like the highest penalized team. I mean, we had 60 yards of penalties in the first quarter. I was out to lunch with my family after church, and we went to a place. I said, if we go to lunch, we got to go to a place where there's a television. So we go. I'm watching the first little bit. The Panthers, I think we had tied it up at 3, and I was like, all right, let's get in the car and go home right now. I can make it home before anything crazy happens. I'll listen on the radio. We only live 5 minutes down the road from there. And there was like 7 penalties in the time that I left the place and I got home. And I was sitting in the car, guys, like I didn't even get out of the car because, you know, you have to wait for like a commercial break or something before you get out, and you're listening on the radio. And we had 2 back-to-back face mask penalties. 2.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It really was.
We gave them like 10 shots at the end zone.
Now, you know what? Hey, first of all, I want to give a big shout out. The chat room is just going crazy. And, you know, love all the people in there chatting it up. I mean, thanks for tuning in tonight. But I wanted to point out, as Creative Moments Inc. in the chat room, and there, as they point out, and I guess that's a plug for somebody, right? But that's their name. Pointed out a very valid point. The ones that were totally unacceptable are the 12 men in the huddle, especially on the first play of the game. How do you do that? That's totally unacceptable. That's crazy.
Lynn, that's Legacy Lines Lynn, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Happy to give her a plug.
Yeah, and the first play of the game, you get 12 men in the huddle. I mean, what the heck? What was going on, Willie? All the way. What? It looked like this. If you just would have watched that first quarter and then you had to go do something, you would have thought the Panthers were going to lose like 150-0.
That's how it looked. I mean, you right. That first run, I said, "Oh hell no, not this." But yeah, we look crazy that first quarter. But I like the fact that we didn't panic. There was calls that the refs didn't make on the Lions, and I like the fact that the Panthers didn't panic. That says a lot about the team.
You know what? You know what it reminds me of, Willie? Is it reminds me of the Panthers in 2015. Something might go wrong, but they pick themselves up out of the quicksand and they just look good, and that's the way they played. They were resilient. They were unflappable.
All right, let's talk about this offense, guys. We had an offensive explosion for the second week in a row. Cam Newton went bananas. He was bombing it. He was throwing the ball on a rope. We could do anything.
We what he said about Greg Olsen today?
Oh yeah. Tell everybody what he said. This was the best.
He said that after Greg Olsen saw the tape of Ed Dickson and what he did, that all of a sudden his foot's getting better and he's out of the cast and in a walking boot, getting better.
Yeah, he said he was out of the cast, and then a day later he was out of the boot, and today he was walking around after that Ed Dickson game. Yeah, that was awesome. So what you get, too, is we can do anything and everything except run the ball. The Panthers had 28 yards of rushing, I think, in the game, but somehow we just exploded. You hit Devin Funchess for a touchdown. You're hitting KB. You're hitting Ed Dickson. This game, Ed Dickson, guys. Ed freaking Dickson set 2 NFL records in this game. 2 records. Number 1 was a Panthers record. He became the first player in Panther history to
250.
To have 2 50-yard runs, which is insanity, right?
Catches.
Then 2 50-yard catches. Thank you. 2 50-yard receptions in the same game. You got all of these people. You got Steve Smith never did that. That's crazy town. And then he sets the record for the most yards per catch on average for a tight end in NFL history in a game that had a minimum of 5 catches. He averaged 35 yards a catch. He finished the day on 175 yards, and somehow he did everything he wanted except for find the end zone.
It was unbelievable.
I was absolutely impressed. That's something that you could not have imagined what happened. You know what I mean? You figure, okay, after that New England game, you start to say, okay, I see a little something. I need to see more, but I did not expect Dickson to have that kind of game at all.
But you know what really happened there is the safeties came into that game saying, we're going to take away KB and Funchess. So they were giving up the seams. So really, hey, kudos to Ed Dickson, but you know what it really shows to me is it shows the maturation of Cam Newton. It shows that he's taken what the defense has given him. And we commented, Tony, if you remember during that Saints game, we were like, Cam is looking only at one receiver and one receiver only. He's not looking anybody off, and he was playing terrible. You go back and watch some of this game, and, man, he was holding the safety with his eyes and then coming back the other way and throwing it on a rope. And I think it's all confidence. I think his shoulder's feeling better. He's trusted. The offensive line played great. I think he's just feeling –
That's what it was.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got to get to one of these comments stuck out, and we're going to talk about Mike Shula and the play calling in just a second. But Slim J 513, who by the way is also on the Cam Newton Secret Service detail with me. He is definitely a protector of Cam. In fact, you could make him an offensive lineman. He'd be safer than half of these other guys that Cam would be. He said this, that throw on the rollout was great by Cam. That wasn't an easy throw. There's 2 things that stood out to me. First of all, it was an incredible throw. The idea that he kind of was able to twist in the air with questions and concerns about his shoulder, with questions and concerns about his ability to put touch on a ball from a lot of people, right? His ability to hit the layup. He did 3 things in that play that he has had difficulty this season doing. So kudos to that. But I think the other thing that shows you something like you were saying, Mel, the maturation of Cam Newton, the first down was there for him to run it. It was wide open for him to run it. And you saw him think about it. You saw him think about it, and then he looked at Dixon and he said, this is too good to pass up. And I think that supports your statement.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's if he plays like this the rest of the year, boy, I mean, you're talking about a second MVP trophy, the way he plays.
That's what I saw. I think it was the blocking. I mean, in that Saints game, the very first snap, he gets hit. This game, you start seeing the team blocking. Cam had time. Cam had touch.
Yes.
Touch. Get the hell out of here. So, I was really impressed with Cam, and I was really impressed with that offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, that pass to Ed Dixon on that long bootleg, that is the type of pass he missed in the first 2 or 3 weeks. And then that pass, and then that touchdown pass to KB. I mean, nobody threw a better ball than that this year.
I mean, thank God KB had the wheels to catch that thing. He had to put every bit of gasoline in the tank to go get that ball. It was a perfect ball, but if he would have been a half step slower, it wouldn't have been it. He would have missed it. So what we saw are a lot of great things from Cam 2 weeks in a row. What we saw we saw Cam. We saw that Cam is continuing to progress. And this is what I wanted to tell everybody, is that this is the knee-jerk, and this is what Slim J was very adamant about in the last couple of weeks is, don't get it twisted, folks. Cam Newton is still Cam Newton. It's just a matter of time till all the pieces come together, till he's 100% healthy. The national media and even local media is so quick to latch on to anything that can get you a little bit of just a storyline for a couple of days, that they will make it. And we knew that this was coming. But Cam Newton is starting to get dialed in. He's getting that momentum. He's getting the confidence. Willie, how the heck did this offensive line play so good? Because that defensive front against Detroit ain't no joke.
That's absolutely
I gotta give credit to the guy that people don't want to give credit to, okay? Matt Khalil. It's not only that Cam is getting comfortable. I think Matt Khalil is getting comfortable with Cam, and you're starting to see. I'm not saying Matt Khalil is going to be one of the greatest tackles or he's top 5. I'm just saying he's playing better, and that's making a big difference. As long as Cam get that confidence and he get that time, it's going to be a problem. That is a fact. But that line, I mean, we know the interior line with Trey Turner and Norwell is good, and you're starting to see Matt Khalil play real good.
And when I go back and I watch some of those games where Khalil gave up some of those sacks, some of them were bad play, but a lot of it was bad communication. Mm-hmm. He would lean in to take the inside guy, and then somebody else pick him up, and then by the time he goes back to get the outside guy, he's too late. And that part of that falls on missing his brother, Ryan Khalil, and setting the protection when they come up to the line. So how much of it is just pure bad play by him? I think he's a top 15 tackle, and that's really all we need. If he's between 10 and 15, that's what Orr was back in the Super Bowl year. He was just 16th rated tackle.
There's some real heavy hitters in the YouTube chat right now. I want to give shout-outs. Pat Coltrane's here. Charlotte Vibe is here. All of them are doing fantastic work. Pat, Baby Bubba. My man is killing. He kills it on YouTube. And look, if you guys haven't checked out Chris Jenkins with Charlotte Vibe, talk about great independent journalism and media. He's really bringing you a lot of frequent content this year that I think is much appreciated. Small things. One of the things today, he was giving us a little background tour of what's going down, what it looks like behind for Thursday Night Football coming in. I wanted him to jump into one of those trailers, man. Just walk in. That's what, if you hire Tony Dunn, that's what I do. I'm just like, oh, sorry, I didn't know where I was at. I walk up in this with Periscope on. All right. So a lot of people, I even just got a text message from The Voice, right? So it's fantastic, man.
He won the original Carolina Cat Chronicles fan contest where we gave away tickets a few years ago, man.
Yeah, fantastic. All
Lord.
right, all right. So
Everybody's a fan of the boy.
let's talk Mike Shula, guys. You got to say this is that now, look, I do feel like everybody's going to be like, shut up, Tony. You're just trying to be like the one dude who says you didn't panic or whatever. But I really feel like I continued to say that a lot of stuff when it came to the Panthers was not executing. While there are some things that we want to see Shula do differently, I have repeatedly said he did call that 2015 offense. You can't take that away from my man. And that 2015 offense clicked. They did everything right that year. What we saw in this game, the play calling, to me, was tremendous. I thought you saw Cam on the bootleg. You saw Cam on the power a little bit. You saw them stretching the field. I thought that, actually, I won't say tremendous. I thought it was very good. Maybe tremendous is too much. There were some things that were questions. And one of those was, what was it that we were texting about, Aaron, in that game where it was like all of a sudden, and I think it was that game. It wasn't the Patriots game. There was something in the third quarter. Oh, I think we settled for a field goal when.
Yeah, well, here's something that I wanted to point out. I think some of the play calling has really ticked me off. Now, I think Shula did a great job, like that bootleg, the pass to Ed Dixon, beautiful design play. The touchdown to CMC, beautifully designed play, and some others. But the play calling I got a problem with really probably falls more on Ron Rivera than Shula, and that's making the decision. I mean, think about this. In the Saints game, you're down by 18 in the fourth quarter on the 32-yard line or the 35-yard line, and you punt. I mean, ridiculous. Now, in this game, you're up 17 points at the end of the third quarter, and you're at the 45-yard line, and you attempt a 55-yard field goal. Why? You're up by 2 possessions. That's when you punt. You punt, and you pin them back within the 10-yard line or something. But now they miss it, and you give them the ball at midfield, and it opened the gates to get them back. That's what we were texting about. We opened the door of opportunity to start that round. It was ridiculous.
Okay, what I saw in the play calling is I seen we was able to Cam in his injury. I seen we wasn't running Cam, and we got in the red zone where we typically run Cam. We didn't. We didn't want to. We got a quarterback, and once Cam started, even the threat of Cam running,
just it changed
a whole lot of how the defense play you and everything.
You're right.
Play calling in 2015, we hit the league with that max protect, and they didn't know how to play that max protect we played. So it gave Kim a lot of time with those fast receivers, and we killed them. Right now, we kind of still running that max protect, but I got to tip my hat to Funches, KB, and that's how I feel about the play calling now.
So Willie, in your opinion, did Funches just all of a sudden get better at his route running and everything else, or is it the absence of Olsen that gave him the opportunity to get some of that focus?
I think it's both, but I think he did get better. I think he has more opportunity. Last year, you see, he wasn't getting separation. I think the way we was calling the plays last year, we was calling it like we had Ginn and Philly Brown in it. I don't think we gave the wide receivers the opportunity to use their size. I think we was trying to play them like, like a template. This is what we did with Philly and Ted Ginn, and we're going to do the same thing with Funches and KB, and I don't think it worked out that way.
I hear you, and I don't know how many wide receivers caught balls in the Detroit game, but I know in the New England game we had 7 different receivers, and that is 8. I mean, that's just unbelievable. I mean, and that is something we weren't even doing in 2015, I don't believe. So, I mean, this offense.
Now, I feel like we did distribute the ball well in 2015. I think I do want to. My thoughts on the Funches thing are this: I think Funches, first of all, it's clear he's played better. It's just that simple. He has played physical, and he has been a softie until this year. And I know you're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're just sitting there behind a microphone. You can't complain about a player or whatever. I can tell you what is my man said his favorite food was salad, and that's soft. And Mel, he must have, like you said, switched to what?
Steak.
That's right, because my man has been eating out there. He's been trucking dudes. He's been playing tough. But one thing we have seen from Funchess that we did not see last year, he only had 23 catches last year, but he had like 6 drops last year. He has been consistently catching the ball. He's been using his size. Kelvin Benjamin, I think, has been playing far better than people have been giving him credit for.
Yes.
So these two guys, it's starting to come together. They're playing and this is what it takes, folks. Like Cam Newton said, this stuff takes time. The idea that people said that Kelvin Benjamin sucked because of last year or that Funchess was a bust, it's too early. These kids are still babies when it comes to their football careers, especially Funchess, who's like 22 years old. I think we've been spoiled into thinking that everybody can come into the league and be like Ezekiel Elliott.
Hey, Mike Todd 8 on Twitter says Funchess has been making chicken salad lately.
That's right. Yeah, he has. I hope he makes some dang eagle salad this weekend.
That's it.
What'd you think about the Christian McCaffrey got his first touchdown? Nifty play call. When we say nifty, it's really not that nifty because we see college teams run that play like every day, all day. But it's kind of an it takes a special personnel, I think, in the NFL to do it, and we got it.
I think McCaffrey is a big part. I mean, if you look at the rushing yards, it's not there. And I don't think we use him right in the running game. But when you look at McCaffrey in the passing game, he's right there with the team leaders. He's right there with Dixon, who had 175. He's right there with Benjamin. He's right there with Funchess with over 200-some yards receiving. He plays a big part. He's been used as a decoy. He's extremely dangerous. And I just think if we, not force it, of course, like we did in the first 2 games, but if we just have some stuff for him, I mean, I just want to see more. We just look generic using him.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's, his adjustment period, but I'm surprised he hasn't had a bigger impact in the return game. And I think that's coming. I think it's just a matter of feel and getting comfortable.
Yeah,
he was a stud in college when it came to that.
I think, you're right, is that you want it to see, but those dudes in the NFL are so fast. It's tough. Yeah. The other thing is I think that we got overfed the hype during training camp. And I'm not saying that he's a disappointment. Don't get me wrong. But it's not fair on these players to have an expectation of, like, this dude's just going to have 200 yards a game. Like, I was considering drafting Christian McCaffrey 12th overall in the Fantasy Football League, and I didn't. And, it's because that hype train, man, boy, it was just a chugging out of Spartanburg. And I think that what we get is Christian McCaffrey has made a great impact to this team, and we're about to see maybe that first touchdown is the breaking of the ice, and that now it's just going to start to come because he's going to get his. It's going to come. It's on its way. Don't worry, it's coming. All right, two things. Let's one last thing on the offense, and then let's turn to this defense. Curtis Samuel, question in the chat room was this, is that with Bird injured, do we have anybody that really can take the top off the defense? Because Curtis Samuel, they mentioned in the chat room, he just hasn't yet. And what I think is funny about this is that when he is out there, they either bubble screen the dude, or one of the time I saw this, the one catch that he missed, that he got like clobbered by 2 people, and it was like a tough window. Really wasn't on anybody. If maybe just like Cam shouldn't have thrown it there. They send him 10 yards across like the middle of the field, and then they send Funchess deep. Like, why don't you?
Backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So how do we?
Wait, so you're talking about routes? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, what? You said routes?
Oh man, that's
funny. Gosh, the only route I want to talk about is the route of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to happen this Thursday night.
There you go. Well played, sir.
What do we got here? You tell me this, Willie. Are we going to see Samuel and these guys, who's going to take the top of this defense?
You know what? I think with Curtis Samuel's skill set, I think he could bring so much to the table. It's early, but you said Funchess was soft. I don't know, man. I think Curtis Samuel might be kitten soft. He seems soft.
Well, like Cam Newton says, guys, you can't expect instant grits.
I understand. He missed a lot of time. You know, you got to give him time to develop. I get it, man. But
and honestly,
his mother told him to camp.
He may not make a big impact this year. I mean, that's just the reality.
Right.
You know, he's a rookie and he's not instant grits, but I mean, he's got the skill set.
Yes.
You know, give him time. He's going to be a player. Now, I'm not sure it'll be this year. So to answer your question there, Tony, about taking the top off the defense, I think this offense is set up the Twin Tower type of an approach where, you know, it's not predicated as much on speed, but and the difference this year is the big guys are running solid routes. And KB is doing something different than Funchess is. They're doing their own thing, but they're doing them well. So I don't know that we need Ted Ginn Jr. to take the top off the way we have in the past. It's just a little bit
It would
different.
be nice, but yeah.
It'd be nice. It'd be another component. So, I mean, if Curtis Samuel, ice up, son, and get ready and help us out here. Because if he does mature in the second half of the season, sky's the limit, man.
All right, this Carolina Panthers defense just shut these mofos down for like 85% of the game. That first drive, they get a little yardage. They get one last second bit of life when they score that touchdown. And then they had like negative yards for 3 quarters. The Panthers defense not only shut them down, they beat them up. Matthew Stafford was, tough. You know, kudos to him for playing through what.
He's a tough dude, man.
Yeah, Sam
dude.
Bradford would have missed 2 years from that game because of that.
Yeah.
And
I think he did.
they beat Matt Stafford up so much that Sam Bradford had to sit out. And
that's good.
But I mean, his hand was busted up, his thigh was messed up, his ankle. It was. We sacked him six freaking times, dude. We were all over him, and we were. Captain Munnerlyn got that damn fumble, and then the refs allowed Greg Robinson to jump on his butt, and the big man. That's not even fair. Greg Robinson jumps on little poor Captain Munnerlyn and then takes the ball away like a little piece of candy from a child. But
he took it like Julius Peppers did from Cam just a couple years ago in Green Bay.
Oh yeah, right.
Julius Peppers and K'Wan Short, these guys are unbelievable.
I think Julius Peppers should be the mayor of Charlotte.
I'm voting for him, dude.
Man.
Hey, I did not expect this from Peppers. I mean, I thought 5 sacks for the year and we'd be lucky. I thought 5 sacks and good, you know? I did not expect 5 sacks in 5 games.
In a game.
What?
I mean, you get that in a game next with this Thursday.
But even aside from the sacks, P. Nasty, I mean, did you see the 3rd and 1 in a critical moment, or was it 4th and 1 in a critical moment, and he blew up his guard that was in front of him and just blew up Abdullah in the backfield for
37 years old, man.
That was the best defensive play I have seen since Chris Jenkins was on the team.
Chris Jenkins, boy.
Short
playing good too.
Yeah, Short's playing good. Mario Addison got in it. I think Starr is playing like a contract year. That mug is balling out. He is noticeable in a way that people have said, "Oh, look, Starr, he plays a different role. He doesn't." Well, you know what? He's playing that role this year, and I see him. I see him on every damn play when he's in there. I think we're able to keep him fresh, though. We're rotating those defensive tackles a lot. But you're right. That Julius Peppers play where he stopped that run, he was like 3 yards in the backfield. This guy is unfreaking believable. I agree. Right now he's on pace for 20 sacks on the year. 20.
Let's don't get crazy.
He's 37.
All right. On top of that, you know what's interesting is he's going to be going up against hopefully he'll line up against Jason Peters in this Eagles game a couple of times because they will have a collective age of 72.
There you go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. The Geritol battle.
Or 73. 73, actually.
That was Roman Harper's age last year. He was with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Roman Harper is actually only 30 years old, and he just looks like he's 80.
Unbelievable. Now, hey, you did see Lane Johnson more than likely is going to be out for this game. He's in the concussion protocol. So that's big news right there. Somebody's licking their chops at that backup tackle that was out there last year.
All right.
I want to see how Carson Wentz. I want to see how Wentz play when he's a little pressured. I want to see how he performs.
Yeah, he's got a lot to prove. What the heck was and last two things in this Lions game, and let's get on out of this. Is this Luke missed 5 tackles, guys? I don't know. He didn't look right.
He didn't look like the old Luke that game. I don't know. Maybe it was sick.
I think he was. You're right, because I looked at his face and things like he just didn't look, like you said, didn't look right. He was missing tackles. He was the one that got beat or got lost. He got hung up in coverage behind Jared whatever his name, Abadabadu, that was down in that fourth quarter that got a 25 yards that set them up for one of their touchdowns. He was off. So the fact that we played that well with a guy who is never off, never, I've never seen, that was Luke Kuechly's worst game of his career.
How did I see?
Yeah, I don't remember any time going, man, Luke Kuechly don't look right, other than when he was getting a concussion.
But I tell you what, even though he missed those tackles, you watch that man play. He knows where that play is going before the ball is snapped. I mean, he's pointing to exactly where the play is going, and he's over there. Now, in that one play where he got out there and he missed and he looked bad, he was the only one pointing over to that spot, and he was there like that. But the other guy made a good play, and he missed it. But,
and last thing, Colin Suck-Ass Jones, he did all right.
Why the hate of him, man? I like Colin Jones.
Because
he's not.
Sorry, man. He's terrible.
Tell me another small, short, white dude that can run 4.37.
All right, here's the thing.
He gives me hope.
He is fast.
All right, that's what everybody tells me. But every time I look at him, he's running behind somebody. He's trying to catch up with him. So with all that speed,
you get Tony's doghouse, you don't get out, man. That's why I'm worried about this game Thursday night, man. I'm taking another friend to the game. I'm worried about this, man.
I'm gonna tell you this too: is that whenever you gotta have a dude come out and remind you that he's got 4.37 speed, you ain't got 4.37 speed.
That's Curtis Samuel, man. I'm gonna just leave that alone, though.
I didn't even. A lot of people saw it. I have to go back and watch the replay more closely. But Jarris Byrd actually played in this game, and the good news is that neither Colin Jones nor Jarris Byrd, from what we saw, were getting torched. They didn't really have a lot of coverage responsibilities with that defensive line play.
He did lay the lumber that one time early on in the game. He hit that dude on the sideline and kind of set the tone. Yeah.
He's going to get better, right? He's going to get more comfortable in the defense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move to this Philadelphia Eagles game, guys. You talk about the Panthers. What I think is I don't see the Panthers as much as red hot at this moment. I do think our offense is getting hot. Our defense played well. I think the word that more defines this team right now is resilient, because of all the injuries that we've had to go through, the slow coming along with Cam Newton, the things that are going down in the secondary, and these guys are still dropping like flies, and we're 4-1. Now, a team that I would describe as red hot right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. These guys, they've been playing great, But to be fair, they played the Rams, and the Rams, well, I do think the Rams are pretty good. I mean, I don't want to just say I mean, obviously they score a lot of points, but their points have come against teams that ain't very good, right? They did not put up a ton of teams against the Seahawks, and they're not even that great. They played the Giants, like P. Nasty said. They've had to play some people. I think they've played the Redskins, who are pretty good, but they started off slow. So, and then you played the trash-ass Cardinals. The Cardinals are straight garbage. I don't care if you say that Carson Palmer had 300 yards 2 weeks in a row. They are sucky. And their defense, surprisingly, which tried to play okay against the Eagles, they ran all of these coverages where they just tried to man up these receivers.
You see,
and they were just getting torched, dude.
Peterson was pissed over on the sideline. I've never seen him like that. He was yelling at coaches and everything. But unfortunately, they're playing the Bucks this week, so we got to be pulling for the Cardinals. Go Cardinals.
Go Adrian Peterson. I hope Adrian Peterson has like 5,000 yards rushing in the rest of the season.
I would laugh like hell.
Yeah. The thing, all right, so look, this offense has been clicking for the Philadelphia Eagles. One statistic that I heard today was that they are first in the league on third down conversion. They convert 53% of the time. So not only is this offense playing well, they're coming through in important spots. Ron Rivera commented up today on this in his press conference, and he said that they also are playing well on first and second down, which is making these third downs convertible. But you got Nelson Aguilar, you've got Alshon Jeffrey, who have become a formidable wide receiving tandem.
Jordan Matthews.
Yeah. He's actually in Buffalo now. It's Torrey Smith, and Torrey Smith, I think, is the other guy. So they got this, and Wentz has played pretty damn well. He started 21 games already as a second-year quarterback, which is phenomenal. I think he's legit and playing well, but when I watch them, I think they're good, but I think that they're going to have some trouble. It's not going to be as easy against the Panthers front.
Go ahead, Pete.
I think that's a legitimate team. Their weapons is serious. They got the 29th ranked defense, pass defense. I think their defense is ranked in total 22nd.
22nd.
I think it's going to be, if we stop the run, I think Wentz is going to have a hard time, or he could have a very hard time.
You guys remember the last time we played Philly in a big game? I think it was a
Monday night football, and I feel like either Cam Newton got hurt in that game or we just got trounced.
We fumbled the opening kickoff, and then went downhill from there. I mean, the doors just fell off early and often.
Well, I hope that Curtis Samuel doesn't kneel the opening kickoff.
Man, somebody got the wrong memo to him. He thought that's when he was supposed to be protesting.
I'm telling you, I don't know about this Curtis Samuel boy, man. I'm gonna give it time.
He saw Mike Pence out of the corner of his eye and took a knee.
Exactly.
All right, so they have now their defense is playing pretty damn well too. One of the things is it Maxwell they got as a safety? These guys, first of all, they got my guy. I'm gonna be interested to see Derek Barnett, right? Didn't he go to the Eagles?
Yeah, he did.
I like him.
Yeah,
he's been in preseason. I haven't heard about regular season, but he was all world in preseason.
Their defensive, what I would say is that their defense has played well. Their defensive front and their defense has played well as a team, but I don't think it's any better than what we've faced. I think we've faced with the Lions, and really with the Bills defense. I think the Bills is the best defense that we've played all year long. Those guys
might be the best in the league.
Yeah, they
Those
just
guys are
beat Muggs up. I think
the Eagles D line is good, but their secondary is a huge question.
Yeah. Now they do look to be getting Fletcher Cox back this week, so that's a big
That's
shot in the arm
tough.
for them. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
that helps. And the one thing that's different about their defense than what the defense that we played last week, we're kind of going against polar opposites, and that is that their secondary in Detroit is small, and there's some size in the secondary. A guy by the name of Rasul Douglas is like 6'1", 225 pounds, and he plays corner. So you're going to put him on a guy like Funchess or Benjamin, and he's going to be able to hold up a little bit better. The thing, though, that I was listening, and I encourage, I think it's called, the podcast that I listened to this morning it's the Cosell podcast. He does one on the Eagles with this guy, and it's called The Bird's Eye View. And I guess they turn out to be Eagles fans, Cosell is. And what they were saying is that the Eagles had to run they were running dime packages, and they were running these different types of nickel packages that then was going to be like this. They were saying that the idea was to get McCaffrey lining up on a safety, or a safety trying to pose as a corner or something to that effect, and that you would have a matchup there that you could win. So how do you guys see this game going? Do you see this being a grinded out game where Philadelphia actually tries to slow the game down, keep the ball out of Cam's hands? Or do you see this as two juggernaut offenses going together? Where do you guys see the Panthers on a Thursday night game? And is there any concern that it's Thursday night, short week, and we always play terrible? We play terrible on Thursday night.
Well, I think it was the Thursday night game where we beat the Patriots a few years ago. So I wouldn't say always. But
I think that was a Monday night game. But yeah, it was a prime game. But I feel like we get some real mixed results in prime time.
We do, and we get real mixed results coming out of a bye, right? So when it's not ordinary, when it's not a 1 o'clock Sunday game on the East Coast, we have a little we have a little bit of
Okay. The Eagles, I forgot the cornerback name, but he's the most targeted cornerback in the league. I can't remember the guy's name, and he's going to start.
So you remember the most obscure fact in the league, but you don't remember the dude's name. I just pick it at you there.
I'm gonna find it out.
These guys. Everybody is saying in the chat room that their corners are trash and their front four, front seven are studs. So
right.
So I mean that tends to tell you we want to spread them out, and we want to spread the ball around. And somebody had said in the chat
they
room
got
earlier,
Patrick Robinson is one of those. They've got Jalen Mills. Their two starting corners are Jalen Mills and Patrick Robinson, and then they also have that dude that was Rasul Douglas. And Rasul Douglas, by the way, let me see what his stats are. He's 6'2", 210 pounds when he was drafted.
God damn.
That's a big corner right there. He's going to get a lot more playing time than usual. So their front is Vinny Curry, who has been playing fantastic. They have
look at what Slim J just put out there. It says quarterbacks have a 93% quarterback rating when throwing against Jalen Mills.
Dang.
Come on in, boy.
I know. It's like throwing against it's just like throwing on Worley. Nah, I'm kidding. Worley actually played all right. Worley has been getting hurt every moment, guys. He has been hurt so much.
Give him the cap. He keeps getting back out there.
Yeah. Where are we going to see Seymour? I wanted to see a little Seymour out there.
You want to see more of Seymour?
Seymour Butts.
Seymour didn't look too bad when he played against us Patriots.
I like him. I think he's got some real potential.
Yeah, because they got Fletcher Cox and Destiny V. They're their backups are like starter quality type players. Derek Barnett's a rookie.
They D-line is a joke.
Yeah, that ain't no joke.
The Eagles D-line is absolutely no joke.
But, Tony, you asked what we saw for Thursday night. What I see is when you're talking about a quick turnaround, I mean, the Panthers did not practice on Monday. Tuesday's the day off in the NFL. Wednesday is going to be your day for preparation. So you're not going to get a whole lot of time to really put together an in-depth game plan. So you're going to be pulling back some things from training camp and just putting in a package. So it's more on the coaches. But on a short practice week, and the same thing for Philly coming in, I see this as a high-scoring game. I don't think the defenses are going to get a chance to get too exotic, pull out too many blitzes, and I see a high-scoring game on Thursday night.
Yeah. With them being 29th in pass defense and, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
I do think this is that I know that they have run the ball effectively in the season, surprisingly, but I ain't scared of LeGarrette Blount. I think that the Panthers can handle a runner like LeGarrette Blount. I think we'll be okay.
It looks like Smallwood will be out this week.
Which that helps because one of the things that the teams have tried to do is because our linebackers play so aggressively and run in space so much and run towards the ball, they've been trying to do things against the Panthers defense that our offense we've been wanting them to do against defense, which is misdirection, fake screen passes, and then get it to backs.
Right. Exactly.
And where you get the linebackers move in a different way. And LeGarrette Blount can't do stuff like that. So I do think we will get to see Kenyon Barner again. Kenyon Barner is returning kickoffs and punts for them, and he had a huge punt return. It was awesome against the Arizona Cardinals, but the Cardinals sucked on it too. So, good for Kenyon Barner, but I don't think we're going to suck that bad. So, all right, so the Panthers, what do you guys think? The keys, what are you going to be looking for? Final keys going into this game that you want to see, that you think that are necessary for the Panthers to continue this streak?
Well,
stop that run. You got to get to LeGarrette Blount. You got to get to him fast. Obviously, try to see if you can rattle Wentz. But definitely stop that run. I think once we stop that run, I'd like to see if they can win a game without having a run game. That is not easy.
Number 2, Mel. You go with number 2.
Number 2 is you got to get pressure and make Wentz uncomfortable.
Yeah, and he's got some mobility to him. He gets rid of the ball quick, but I think that our defensive front has the opportunity to make him feel uncomfortable and to force him into some different situations. For me, I'm going to say number 3 is what we saw the Panthers do fantastic against Detroit, and that is pass protect well. We pass protected, and look, when you give Cam Newton time, he's surgical. This guy, I mean, he can get it done, but once he starts feeling a little rushed, when guys are at his feet and uncomfortable, that's when you start to see a little bit more digression from how fantastic he is. He's 2 weeks in a row, he's completed over 75% of his passes. I think number 4 for me, guys, this secondary, the Panthers secondary is going to have a tough matchup. They're going to have some real players that they got to deal with, and I will be interested in this is James Bradbury. Is that can he continue? He's got to play like a star. A lot of people have been critical of him for not getting turnovers. But you're saying he's got a sore back?
Calf.
Everybody is sore.
He's been shadowing teams' best wide receivers, and he's been doing well.
Yeah. The second wide receiver position, we're thin in the secondary. Let's not lie about this. Is that we got James Bradbury, and that's about it.
That's true. So, I mean, our weakness is their weakness. These two teams really mirror each other pretty nicely. But, I'm going to say the 5th thing that has to happen, and people have been hitting me up on Twitter and email all week. Unfortunately, I think I'm not going to be able to pick the Panthers again the rest of this year because every time I pick them, they lose, and vice versa. So I'm going to have to go against them. Yeah,
That's fine.
that's
You
really
pick whatever you got to do well to win this game. Last thing about this,
We
or
gotta
not?
run the ball.
Yeah,
That's
wow,
something
we
we gotta
haven't we
do.
haven't been able to do that. What's up with that? Detroit's defense won't allow nothing.
We gotta run the ball. It's too hard to maintain a lead when you gotta pass all the damn time. We gotta
And
get
it's-
Jonathan Stewart going. Don't run into
But
a wall, but we gotta run the ball.
I mean, we're trying to run right up Larson's hiney, right? I don't
Shula.
get that. Run off tackle a little bit. Run some power sweeps.
No.
We call
Shula
him
was not
Magic
doing-
Mike around here.
What's that?
We call him Magic Mike around here. Magic Mike Shula. So what? All right, you're right, and I thought this, and I was upset with that a little bit in this Detroit game. Is that that one of the things is when that's not working, why don't you do some things that are equivalent to a run play, a little swing pass, a little shuffle pass? You know what I'm saying? Like some outside, some
When
things
that
that
works-
they.
When that works, that becomes a great thing. But when it doesn't work, it becomes what everybody calls a bleeping bubble pass, man. We freaking hate it. So it's all
Well,
about execution. When it works, it's great. When it
I
doesn't,
think there's so much different than that, like lateral pass. You know what I'm saying? Where you turn and everybody's sitting still. You know what I'm saying? The wide receivers got to wait for the ball to get there,
But
and
you
then
know what?
dang,
The key-
defensive players are teeing off on them. I think there's something
Hey.
different with backs swinging out of the backfield.
I agree
Some
with that.
stretch plays with McCaffrey. You know, an end around like we used to do again with your boy Samuel.
Yeah,
We don't
you
have
gotta
a
let-
fullback
you gotta let-
though. We don't have a fullback, and this is problematic right now for that
you
for
gotta-
some of
you
these
gotta let
runs.
You got to let McCaffrey read the run. So I think those off-tackle stretch plays that Willie's talking about is key. But what you said earlier, P. Nasty, about using Cam in the run game with the play options, quarterback options, all
Yes.
that, we got to do more of that, big time.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
That's where we're
oh,
successful.
so I
If we
think,
win this
go ahead.
game, we have 10 days to prepare for the Bears. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Let me
Man.
tell you though, Trubisky looked like the truth the other night, man. He was the first.
That's good.
he was a
Yeah.
good player.
Man,
the rest
we
of the
win
team
this
sucks.
game.
Yeah.
All right, we still have a lot to power through. We've got ice up picks. We got our picks to do, and we've got a lot of cat calls. Let's do our picks real quick. And Willie, if you got to go, you just let me know, man. We love hang you out, but I don't want to keep you up all night.
Oh, it's
No,
early for him out there. It's
All
early out there.
All right. Okay. So let's do our picks real quick. I do think there's a lot of things. This is going to be a tough. Oh, I do. Last point on this game. I keep saying that over and over and over again. Last point. This is what an Eagles writer who I tried to get on the show tonight, but it was so last second. His name's Matt Lombardo. You can follow him at Matt Lombardo PHL. He said he's a Rams writer, and somebody tweeted him. He said, "Would a win Thursday convince you that the Eagles are a Super Bowl contender?" And he responded, "Yes. Panthers are most complete team Eagles have played, other than the Chiefs. Winning on short rest would be a statement / launching pad for this team." And I tweeted him back and I said this, and similarly, a win for the Panthers would galvanize what is now a nice 2-game winning streak for Carolina into a really tough statement in the face of adversity that if we can get a win here, guys, we have won 3 games. We've won our toughest stretch of the whole schedule.
That's fact. That's real. And we have 10 days to prepare for the Bears.
For the Bears, you know what you're gonna just do is you're gonna let Peppers take like a dang Rip Van Winkle nap and just wake him up in 10 days, and he'll come out there and get 10 sacks if he gets 10 days rest.
So be excited about that until you go back and you look at Ron Rivera's record coming out of a bye week, and that makes you think 10 days might be a little bit much.
That's not a bye, though.
That's not a bye. That's true. That's true. There's 10 days, though. So, but we're facing John Fox, so I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to our picks. We've been picking divisional picks, and we'll have Willie pick for Joey since he's out. And it looks like this. Obviously, the Panthers, Eagles. I am going to launch off here, and I'm saying the Panthers. I think the Panthers right now have shown me that they can win with all of these problems. Now, I don't think this is going to be easy. I think our secondary will face its toughest test of the season, but we've played better quarterbacks. The last two games, we've played better quarterbacks. While we're playing good receivers, this time we're playing good receivers with is a guy that's still young. I'm not saying he's not good, but he certainly isn't Matthew Stafford. He's not Tom Brady. The Panthers have one more time?
And Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah, and Drew Brees, exactly. So I think that hopefully as long as we don't give up any big plays like that Nelson Aguilar play, we have a great opportunity here. I do think that the Panthers offense continues to roll here. I'm going to tell you this, and we're not going to talk about the issues with what happened with Cam Newton other than turns out that Dannon got yo-played. And that now, what do you buy? What'd you buy at the store today, Mel?
I even put that out there on Twitter, man. And I eat yogurt a lot, and I was an Oikos guy, which is a Dannon product, because of my man Cam Newton. But I've decided to switch over to, I don't know how you pronounce it, Fage, F-A-G-E.
Fage.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I like that. Dannon got yo-played.
I do think this is one thing, and I wrote about this before the controversy that happened with Cam, is that Cam, after his worst game against the Saints, had his best press conference. He has been continuing the press conferences he had in the aftermath of those problems were spot on. A time before where Cam Newton would have shut down. He would have shut down to the media. He would have shut down in anger at himself for what happened. He did not, and he didn't let it faze him on the field. He responded, and he's had these fantastic press conferences 2 days in a row where he seemed loose. And I'm telling you, a Cam Newton who's loose and smiling is one dangerous mofo. And you better watch out, Eagles. And you're on short rest, and I'm putting you on notice. The Panthers are winning this game, so sign me up for the Panthers pick. Who you got, Willie?
I'm picking this for my man Joey. I think Carolina make a statement this game, and I think I got no disrespect. I'm not disrespecting the Eagles. I think the Eagles are a young, very good, talented team. But I think Carolina, it's going to be one-sided. I think it's going to be a one-sided game, and I think Carolina's going to do it.
Plus, Willie, if you watch this
I
show,
think that we're going to be able to score on that defense, and I think we're going to stop the run, and Carson Wentz is going to have a hard time with this defense.
And for everybody out there that knows the freaking Puerto Rican, he has never picked against the Panthers. So he couldn't have started tonight. So well done. Right on.
All right, so the next game on the list is
you didn't have me pick, man.
Oh, I thought you did. Sorry, my bad. Are you gonna pick the damn Eagles?
I got to, man. Because if I pick the Panthers, sure enough they're gonna lose. So I'm taking one for the team.
Keep it up, Mel. Keep it up.
Yeah. I'm willing to take it on the chin, man. I'm gonna run this as long as I can run it. So.
I love it because I need to make up some ground in the pick contest. So you do that. You keep doing that. I feel like
you'll take care of blowing it somewhere else.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like this could be, and I'm not like, look, Cam Newton was asked about this in his press conference, is this 2015-ish? And he said, look, 2015 is so far in the rearview mirror. Like, let's not even talk about that. But one thing I do like about what's happening with the Panthers is that maybe we're going on one of those runs like we did in 2015 where everybody just continued. We're like 8-0, and people are like, you know what? I'm going to pick the Bucs to win today because I don't believe in the Panthers. I'm going to pick the dang Eagles because I don't believe the Panthers are all that good. We could be. We win this game.
I love how you mock this fake person out there.
we win this game right here, and you got 10 days to prepare for the
Bears.
But you know what? Back in 2015, it was the Green Bay Packer game, and it was about this time in the season. where I said, man, if we beat the Packers this week, the sky is the freaking limit for the rest of the year. And I kind of feel the same way. If we beat the Eagles tonight, man, we're in great shape.
That's what I feel like. Where we could be like, we could start one of those runs where nobody wants to pick us, and I'm picking us here. So you got the Eagles, you traitor. That's good. Take it on the chin.
Take them up with a team, brother.
Falcons, Dolphins. I'll continue to start. The Dolphins are horrible. They suck. Yeah. How are they so damn bad, man? I don't even get it. And what's up? Jay Cutler on drugs, dude. He been damn doing coke with that coach.
Offensive line coach.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I really think that the GM screwed the pooch by not putting in Matt Moore and bringing in Jay freaking Cutler, who is awful, and he's been awful for a long time. That was just a terrible move, man. Terrible move.
You know what happened to the Dolphins? You want to know what happened to the Dolphins?
What happened?
They went to the playoffs. Every time they go to the playoffs, this happens. The coaches go on drugs. They come back losing the very next year.
They acted like they won the damn Super Bowl making the playoffs.
It sounds like the Panthers, though. Every time we have a good year.
They got a playoff hangover. That's what they got. They got a playoff hangover. All right, so is everybody taking the Falcons here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Bucks, Cardinals.
Bucks.
Yep, Bucks here as well. I think they had a down game. I'm glad to see them not clicking. That's nice for me. So who you got, Mel?
I'm going with the Bucks, unfortunately.
Yeah, Buccaneers here as well. And the last game is, who are the Saints playing this week?
The Detroit Lions.
Oh, man. I'm going to pick the Lions here.
Lions.
For sure. I'm going Lions. Well,
I got the Lions, man. They're not losing 2 in a row. I think they're going to come in and play well and give them Saints some work.
You know what? I'm going to take the Saints, and here's why. Matthew Stafford, if that leg is not feeling right, man, he makes that team go, and they got no running game to support
they can't run the ball, and you're right. The Saints are playing well.
I'm taking the Saints.
You know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm with you on the Saints.
So now,
Lions.
So now when the Lions win next week, you're going to say Bell just kind of bulldozed me into making that decision. And
That's right. That's right. You're right. Okay, you're right. I'm sticking with my gut. I'm with Willie. I'm going Lions.
I bulldozed you into staying with your original pick.
Twice. You bulldozed me twice, man. Twice, dude. All right. Guys, we got so those are our picks for this week. Now I think what everybody has been waiting for right now is that we got to get into everybody's favorite segment. Now we got the Cat Calls line. Guys, you can call 24/7 and leave a message on the Cat Calls hotline where we'll let you get your voice heard in Panther Nation on the C3 Carolina Panthers podcast. The number is 252-228-5098. If you're listening right now, go ahead and pause. Plug that sucker in your phone, put save, because what we want you doing is calling after the game, before the games, and getting a little trash talk. Because this time, here it comes, folks. Here we go. We got some good calls and a lot of them to get through tonight. Here we go.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
I think we got him here. No calls here. What's up?
Hi, this is Christopher Telton. I wanted to know. My question is, on the defensive backs, once again, Darryl Worley, he must be really liked by Coach Wilkes. He should be on the bench. And the play calling, I know we called the cardiac cats, but I think we need to straighten up and get some difference in the play calling, run, pass, or run, and then pass on third down. It's not working. We got to get some change up, man. I mean, Mike Shula's doing a little bit better, but It's not. You just got to pick it up. We do, because someone is going to pick up on the mistakes we're making, and they're going to really beat us down. That's my comment. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Magic Mike. Calling out Magic Mike.
What's going on, guys? It's Carlton Cohen. Man, I'm riding high right now, feeling really good after that strong Detroit win. I've got one area of concern, though. What's going on with the running game, man? If you look at, and we're throwing the ball incredibly well, yes. So, of course, we're not having as many rushing attempts. But if you even look at the yards per carry, man, I'm super concerned. Cam right now is beating teams with his arm, great. But when is the run game going to start to come through? What's going on with CMC? Is he ever going to be a respectable NFL running back from the standpoint of rushing up the middle, yards per carry? Even Stewart can't get it going. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm curious.
All right, so I do. Let's address this comment right here.
And then when he was asked later by the
Holy cow. What we got here is we also got, all right, let's talk about this run attack real quickly. It's not been there very much for this team all year long. Jonathan Stewart has been a godsend, is that what he does is he runs hard. The holes haven't been there. He's had trouble turning up the field, and Christian McCaffrey has not been all of that huge of a factor in the running attack just yet. How do the Panthers get this back on track, Willie?
It starts with the O-line, and that's the problem. I think you got the O-line as the issue. I think not playing to Christian McCaffrey's skill set is also an issue, but it's the O-line, and this might be something that never gets fixed. But let's see what happens. But it starts with the O-line.
Do you guys notice that who was active for the first time ever? It seems like was Cameron Artis-Payne this week, healthy scratch.
I saw him out there on special teams too.
Yeah. So I wonder what that says is that I don't know what that means. I don't know why the Panthers now feel like this is the time to activate him. I don't know if there's some sort of hidden injury going on with Jonathan Stewart, some sort of concern. I don't know. But that is interesting. And we'll be continuing to monitor that. But this is one thing we addressed in the show when Willie said we got to get this damn running game going. Here we go with our next call.
raised his fist, and then when he was asked later by the media why he did it, he said, and I quote, to signify black power, end of quote. Now I ask you, if a white man had done the same thing, and after the media asked him, hey, why did you raise your fist? And he nonchalantly said, to signify white power. Do you think the media would have taken that at face value and, oh, or do you think they would have come unglued at the seams, as everyone in their right mind should? But you see, that's what we call a double standard. It's hypocrisy. Okay? And if we want to end this racial bullshit, tension, whatever you call it, what's going on in the world right now, you know, you need to stop that kind of nonsense, okay? There's no room for this. I mean, you know, where's Jameel Hill? I mean, why isn't she coming out and calling Cam Newton a black supremacist? You think if Donald Trump would have raised his fist and said it was for white power, to signify white power? I mean, come on, people. Have we lost our minds?
All right, this is what happens. I didn't screen the calls at all. So that was totally a Debbie Downer. But we'll ask this because we got a black man. Look, we got our black man on the show right here. Speak for black people here.
Black people, black pride or black power is symbolized because it was a time where we was oppressed. It was a time where we was held down. So it just signifies us being strong. Black people, as far as there's no black KKK, we don't go around killing nobody. We didn't have someone killed in Charlottesville. So it's a little different. To compare the two, this don't make sense.
Yeah,
I do understand
agree.
his point. I do understand his point. You know, I probably wouldn't have phrased it as black power. I would have said probably black pride. But there is a difference. And Cameron's just trying to, you know, he had some issues in the past, and he's just trying to identify with his people. That's all it is.
I agree. I do think this is that. Look, what if anything, what I think that call signifies is that there's some frustration among football fans that American society has so much things going on in it, which we always do, folks. There was never a time where we didn't have all of this crap going on, but right now,
football is supposed to be an escape. It's supposed to be the one day of the week where you kick back, you crack a beer, and you escape reality a little bit.
turns out that football is played in America, and you can't escape America in America. So I think it's like I understand where people don't want their comfort and their relaxation to be bothered. Like, I can get why people feel that way, but at the same time, like, it's just something, you know what, if we really want to change this, what we got to probably do is continue to work and make society better. I do support two things what Willie said. First, the creation of the concept of black power was something that was recreated in reaction to reaction. It wasn't like they woke up and decided to black power on the world. It was in response to the events of and circumstances of life. And two, I think you made an excellent point. Is Cam Newton took you want to talk about the shit he took for the route stuff? He took more shit from black people over that crap that he said in whatever it was, whatever magazine he said.
1/8 of an inch.
Yeah. Is that right? Like, so he's doing white people don't understand this probably, is there's a PR campaign going on for Cam Newton, and it's to somebody else other than the guy who was calling. You know? Right. All right. Next call here.
Hey y'all, it's Gordon from Charlotte. Watching the game this weekend was pretty awesome, but one thing I do want to bring up, we've given him a lot of crap over the last few weeks, is the play calling by Mike Shula. He is like the constant scapegoat for Panther Nation, but some of the things that he has drawn up over this last week and the week before have been unbelievably good. The shovel pass, the bootleg, they were just brilliant play calls. So maybe we should give Shula a little bit of love instead of pinning everything on him. Love the podcast, guys. Keep doing some great work. See you later.
Good call.
Fantastic. A little Magic Mike love right there.
Hey, C3 Podcast. What's up, guys? It's your boy Jada. Oh, I'm loving where we're at, man. No distractions can hold us down. No team can keep it back. The only thing that can beat us is ourselves.
That's right.
I just wanted to say, from the little sample of playing time that I've seen, I like Jarius Byrd over Colin Jones, and I like Kevin Seymour over Daryl Worley. It just seems like this team has a lot more potential with those guys on the defensive side, at least at this point. I'm not saying over Coleman for the Bird situation, but because obviously he's going to be out for like a month. This is the tough stretch. This is the tough part of our season. It's good to start 2-0 for the road trip sandwich we got, because we got 2 road games, the Thursday night short week at home.
Then 10 days.
So it's a good start.
10 days, baby.
Short, tough week this week. At least we'll be at home. We need to be ready for Carson Wentz in that offense. And our receivers need to be able to take advantage of their corners, because their corners do level up a little bit. Their only loss is at Kansas City. So the Eagles are real. I just wanted to see what your opinion is on the Bird. The Bird is the word. Lost one Bird, got another Bird, and I wanted to see your opinion on the Kevin Seymour too, because Daryl Worley just doesn't look in the part. Love what you guys do as always, and keep pounding.
All right, Mel, I'll let you take that. Go ahead with Bird is the word.
Well, hey, I think what they're doing right now, at least for now, and give Bird a little bit of time to fully learn the playbook. I think they're using him in obvious passing situations because he does have more range, more length, more athleticism than Colin Jones. Though Colin Jones is fast.
But I thought Colin Jones was so damn fast, man.
He is fast, but where his strength is, he's fast to getting into that run support, man. He's better.
Yeah, he's fast at makeup speed.
Lay off, my boy. Don't turn him into the next Tober now. You're going to get Colin Jones' mom calling in or something.
Hey, Mike's Mama Tolbert's done it. Come on, Mama. If I can handle Mama Tolbert, I can handle Mama Jones.
There were some racial undertones to that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. All right, no, that's cool. No, but as far as Seymour and Worley, I want to see more of Seymour, but I think Worley is going to be fine. He's not instant grits either, and he's been dealing with some injuries. So, I'm not ready to give up on Worley by any stretch. But I made the best man win. I think they both should get their playing time, and whoever beats the other out gets the job.
Something we said about this, and I've stressed with is I don't want to put too much pressure on Worley. I think we have, as a team, we've required him to be a starter from day one, from moment one, and that's a lot to ask when a guy that probably wasn't ready to be a starter and still could be. What we are is we needed him so much. I think we were pleasantly surprised at how well Kevon Seymour played, so that's nice. I see Worley make good plays, and then I see, what I also see is that teams pick on Worley. The teams are throwing at Worley all the time, and that tells us that they think that they can take advantage of that.
But you got to wonder, is it more about Worley, or is that more about respect for Bradbury?
That's what it is. What happens is you have a cornerback like Bradbury, they are going to pick on the other corner. I don't care who the other corner is.
Yeah.
And you got Bradbury and you have Captain Munderland. You're not going to just not throw the ball. So we all knew before the season started that Worley's going to see a lot of targets. That's what it is. I think Worley's a good corner. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
What I say is one Jarris Bird is in the hand is better than two Colin Jones in the bush. That's just me. All right. Next up on the Cat Calls line, here we go.
Oh, yes, Panther fans. This is once again your favorite Falcons fans, Scotty Jurassic.
Oh, Lord.
Hey,
This guy.
I say, guys squeaked one out and got a little bit lucky, but you look pretty good. Cam's pretty good, but he's from Atlanta, so that's right. But, we're coming for you, November 5th. Keep pounding. We'll be louder than you, and no, we do not need to pipe in any crowd noise. Keep pounding.
Oh gosh, this guy. All right, so that's the Cat Call lines, guys. I want you to get on that 252-228-5098. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your voice heard in Panther Nation. We also be sure to support the show. You can support the show by calling in. This show's for you guys. That's why we're featuring the chat box now. I got that capability of doing that. What we are is we're trying to generate a fan discussion, a fan community here when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. For people that are listening to the podcast in their car, what we want to feel like this is one person emailed me once and said, I feel like I'm riding to the game with my homeboys and we're just talking about football. That's what we want this podcast to be about. And for it to continue to be like that, we need your help. And you can help us by right now subscribing, writing a review, hitting a thumbs up, and sharing it on social media. Those are the top ways. That's not a lot to ask, folks, that you listen to the show, that you just hit share, and you say, check out this show. We like it. We want to grow Panther Nation. And if you're feeling frisky, you can find the Patreon link in the show notes, guys, and you can consider donating to our show to keep building it up. We're bringing it to you now on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook Live, and this does take some resources that me and Mel and Joe that we sneak out of our pockets without our wives knowing, at least for me. So thank God my wife doesn't listen to the podcast, because she would not know. She does not know that I keep just leaking money onto this sucker. But we do it so you guys can help us just with $1 donation. Guys, we got to get to the best, the real segment of the show everybody's here for. We got to get up to this Ice Up segment, guys, where we tell somebody, and this is our homage to the second greatest Panther, who will, by the end of Cam Newton's career, be the third greatest Panther maybe in Panther history. Our homage to Steve Smith, and this is where we tell somebody in the world to ice up, to toughen up, to get it together. Mel, who you got?
Yeah, and you know, it's tough without the freaking Puerto Rican here because he's been bringing it hot and heavy here the last few weeks. But I'm gonna keep it simple. But this is a finer point of the game last week that we haven't talked about at all, and that was the inactives. I thought you were going there a little bit earlier in the show, but a surprising inactive says a lot, and it makes you wonder what's going on. And he was totally a healthy scratch. A first-round pick where we stayed away from picking some safeties and some other wide receivers, and the thought was he's going to be used in contract negotiations with Starr. My boy Vernon, Big Vern, healthy scratch, beat out by Kyle Love as the defense. Now, I heard somebody say, well, we were playing the extra defensive end, bringing in Brian Cox. That's why Vernon was on the shelf. But Kyle Love was active. So when Kyle Love, who's been cut by this team and then brought back, beats you out, something's going on, Big Vern. Big Vern, you need to ice up, and you need to get with it. We need you down the stretch, Big Vern. We need that depth on the defensive tackle, and we need a little bit better than Kyle Love. No offense to Kyle, but Vern.
Ice up. All right. Who you got, Willie?
Okay. So your team is pure unadulterated trash. Your O-line ain't worth a piss hole in the snow, and your quarterback you haven't slept for 3 months. And this is the time you chose to get on camera, sniff cocaine, and send a love letter pretty much to a stripper.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with this man?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable story.
What's the guy's name again? It's what's his name? Chris Forrester?
Goodness gracious, man. Ice your ass up.
And whatever you do, don't turn to the ice because that's even worse. I will say this is that that's where I was going with my ice up pick, but I'm going to take this 2 different angles here. And that is, I want to ice up everybody who is coming out and celebrating Kiwana Nije, the stripper who exposed the Dolphins coach, because there is this storyline that's come out that she exposed the coach because of his anti-anthem stand. Now that's just some complete bullshit. We all know this. You know one thing, you can't trust no stripper, and you send her a video like this, that first of all, you're getting a nice up, Chris Forrester, not even for what you did and being a dumbass with the video. You're getting an ice up for the video just being creepy as shit. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was weird, dude. Like, I mean, I'm talking about, I know drugs are bad, but nobody get that high. Like, that mess was weird. And he was like, I'm thinking about you. And like, I think about you. And then like all this. And it was super creepy. And then, so there's an ice up. The other ice up is for this DJ or whatever her name is that you acting like this stripper did this because she got this dang character and moral compass. Hell nah. This dang girl sold this video to TMZ or whatever because she said this, is that I'm going to just get the next sucker who's going to buy me all the cocaine I want, and that you can't trust no stripper. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. You just damn silly to think that. You get an ice up for falling in love with a stripper. You get an ice up for, damn, they all tell you they love you. And then you get an ice up for doing drugs on camera. And then all of y'all are getting ice up. God, all of y'all are getting ice up. She did this for the money. And I have a secondary ice up. This one's terrible. Somehow there's this video floating around. There's 2 things I got to talk about. One is this video at the Gamecocks game, some girl giving a hand job to her boyfriend. And so I'm like, gosh, well, this is crazy. Why do I got it? And then it's watching, and I find myself watching. I'm like, is she giving him a hand job? I'm looking at it, and then I iced myself up. I said, why are you watching this video twice? What in the world, man? What the hell? You get an ice up, Tony. And then the other one was this, is how about that one, who's that porn star, the Khalifa girl or whatever? I saw a tweet today. Somebody said, who's this Khalifa whatever girl? And she tweeted him back, and she said, just don't Google it. And then the most awesome, wonderful comments followed about, you're right, you should probably just red tube it, you porn it, and like all of this awesomeness. And then my favorite was, sorry, I already Googled you like 5 times. So to all of y'all, you're on notice. You're getting iced up. And that's it, man. Guys, that's the C3 podcast.
Hey, can I say one thing? I want to ask y'all a question real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we have Mike Adams, we have Colin Jones, we have Demetrius Cox, and we have Jarris Bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do when Kurt Coleman comes back?
Competition, baby. Kurt Coleman is a team captain, so I think he is all right. So
he's gonna start. He's gonna start. I mean, that's obvious. But who do you cut? What do you do? I mean.
Well, I think you're in a good spot. I think you keep Jarris Bird, right?
Yes.
Why not? I think, though, what you might do is who's going to go down next? Who knows? I mean, Mike Adams is only like a half a second younger than Julius Peppers. So is that he's been playing better, but he struggled the first couple of weeks. You like having the opportunity to have that depth there because Colin Jones isn't. You know, he's just a special teams guy. So I like that. And what if you saw this? What if you saw Kurt Coleman and Jarris Bird out there?
Yeah, you know what? I think Jarris Bird, he did look like dog food these past couple years, but he was on the Saints, so I forgive him of his sins. That team, didn't have no front seven. They had no pass rush.
Well,
so maybe they can look better. So, we'll have to see. But that's a good look, though.
But the problem is you put Bird and Coleman together, you get back to that same problem. Coleman is not at his strength down in the strong safety box. I want him back playing. I want him back in the deep, making those passes, picking off those passes where he's playing in the deep center field and then reading the quarterback's eyes, making the play. That's what
the one thing though is we don't know what Coleman looks like beside a good playing strong safety beside a good free safety. We know what Coleman looks like, and I agree 100% with you, Mel. I've always been saying it. He's a free. He plays better at the free, but I think it's unfair judgment to say that he can't play the strong because Trey Boston was the free. So we'll see how it pans out. But the best thing is Jarris Bird can't come in here demanding the start. So he can be pushed into a depth position. And these were the concerns that you guys listed when we wanted TJ Ward so much, that you didn't want to have that. And I don't think Jarris Bird brings that baggage. And he appears to be healthy this year while TJ Ward isn't. So this could be a big pickup for the Panthers, and it'd be nice to see how it turns out. We'll be watching that Worley thing because this corner thing is fragile. All right. That's the C3 podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. My name's Tony Dunn. They call me the Professor. You can follow me at @cat_chronicles. I'm hanging out here with my boy Willie. Panther Nasty back on the show. Tell him. How can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Panther Nasty at Twitter and on YouTube. Holla at your boy.
That's right. Mel Mayock, a.k.a. Aaron Ford. I know you're going to be out at the game Thursday night. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be looking at that TV. I'm going to be like, that could have been me. Mel, if I want to tweet you, Mel, how can I tweet you at that game?
Well, I'm going to have that phone in my pocket, man. I'm going to be enjoying every moment. But during the halftime, I'm going to be making my cat call, I believe. So, but you can catch me at Panthers Drafter anytime. Let me know if you're going to the game. I'm going to be at the Roy and Wright tailgate. Be looking for you there. Get some pictures. Put them up on the Twitter. All
right. Fantastic. Share, subscribe, support. See you next Tuesday.